LA This Week.
I'm Anna Marcos. Take a look at a project that's beautifying Elysian Valley in the 13th District one step at a time. That's coming up.
I'm Rasha Goel. Up next, why it's taken 27 years to bring this mural back into the public eye.
We are on safari at the Los Angeles Zoo with the arrival of its newest inhabitants, Mandrills. They're among the most colorful of the monkey species. I'm Gil Reyes with the story next.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. Well, there are hundreds of thousands of renters in need in LA, but now they may have a shot at a little rent intervention as the Section 8 waiting list lottery gets set to open its enrollment period. Anna Marcos shows us what it all means for needy residents.
For the first time in 13 years, this housing lottery is on, and it could create a frenzy as low-income Angelino renters enroll for a chance at worry-free housing. We're talking about Section 8, which helps disadvantaged renters pay their rent, and HACLA, the housing authority of the city of LA, is about to open its Section 8 waiting list lottery. There's only one problem.
The need is so great and the funding is extremely limited that it's very difficult for us to meet all of the needs in the city. We estimate that there could be as many as 600,000 applicants.
You heard that right. 600,000 applications, more than 500,000 hopeful renters, and only about 20,000 will be picked. But that still doesn't mean they'll get the chance to have their rent or a portion of it paid by the U.S. government.
It will be several years. It could be up to 10 years for us to get through the list of 20,000.
City leaders are appealing to LA landlords to take part and help open up more housing spots. The lottery enrollment will open for 2 weeks from October 16th to October 29th.
Yes, it can take years. If Congress gives us more funds, it'll take less time. If we find more landlords, it'll take less time too.
Start expecting a lot of multitude of phone calls.
I'm actually a recipient of the voucher. I've been waiting for over 15 years. And I finally got the voucher 2 weeks ago.
You can visit hacla.hcvlist.org for more information and to find out if you qualify. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
By the way, information will be available to renters in 7 languages, including English, Spanish, Tagalog, Chinese, Korean, Armenian, and Russian. Well, turning now to immigrants who are undocumented in our city, the deadline to file for DACA extensions has passed. Most people were forced to fork over hundreds of dollars for the paperwork. But for people of South LA, filing was totally free, thanks to one council office. And as Gil Reyes reports, more free and discounted services continue if needed.
Undocumented immigrants like Uriel Garcia are relieved to have filed their DACA renewal forms on time and way under budget.
I actually got my fee covered as well, which I am grateful for because I was having a hard time putting that money together, which is $500, and that is not, that's a big deal. That's a big deal for people around, this area.
This area is South Los Angeles and parts of downtown, also known as Council District 9, represented by Councilmember Curran Price. His office donated a lot of money so that the area's lower-income undocumented immigrants could file for DACA renewal at no cost. Usually, renewal costs $500 per person. The service provided by Carecen, the Central American Resource Center.
They've been gracious enough to give our organization $500,000 to help cover fees for both DACA, which is needed now, and citizenship events.
An additional $500,000 was given to another legal center, CHIRLA, the Coalition to Preserve Immigrant Rights.
So that these two pro-immigrant rights groups can come into our communities and provide much needed help to our residents, because about 80% of the people who live here in the district are Latino, and we want to be able, we want them to feel safe, we want them to feel secure.
The Trump administration has ordered to end DACA, or Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. The program had protected undocumented immigrants who arrived in the U.S. as minors from deportation. What you're seeing here are among the last 2-year extensions filed before DACA phases out, buying these young people more time.
We don't want to have any families broken up. We know that the Trump administration is no friend to our community. And so we are excited to be here today happy to provide resources.
I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Though the DACA deadline has passed, immigration consultation remains free at Quercén. The agency also helps citizenship applicants attain reduced fees if they qualify. Call their Westlake District office at 213-385-7800 for more info. Should aerial drones be used by the LAPD? Well, your input is needed as the LAPD's civilian overseers consider launching a one-year pilot program. Gil Reyes reports on this delicate balancing act between privacy rights and public safety.
Drones. Some say they can be invaluable tools during police search and rescues, hostage standoffs, and similar crises, getting in and out from the air when officers can't. But these protesters outside police headquarters also fear invasion of privacy when the camera is on, and say officers could use the devices to intimidate communities of color. After weeks of public input, the LA Police Commission is considering a one-year pilot program for LAPD use.
They failed to hold drone hearings in South Central LA, Central LA, and East LA, intending to deny those most vulnerable communities any input.
Our challenge is to create a policy that strikes a balance, that promotes public safety, the safety of our officers, and does not infringe on individual privacy rights.
At this police commission meeting, LAPD brass outlined preliminary rules for use of unmanned aerial systems, UASs, or drones, as most people call them. They include a detailed log of deployment made available to the public, no weaponry attached to the devices, and only LAPD's elite SWAT unit could deploy them. There would also be several layers of approval among LAPD command staff before any activation. LAPD Chief Charlie Beck does not believe the approval process would hinder response times during an active shooter or other emergency situation.
I don't think the layers will slow anything down because, we are in constant contact and communication about these types of incidents anyway. This is a relatively small, this is not a daily occurrence.
The civilian board overseeing the LA County Sheriff's Department has recommended in a non-binding decision to ground their drones, as we now await the decision from the LAPD's own board.
Now, it's still unclear how many UASs or drones would be used by the LAPD should this pilot program be approved. You could read up on all the recommendations as currently written at lapdonline.org. Outside police headquarters, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Now it's your turn to be heard. Drone or no drone? Email your thoughts to suas@lapd.online. Well, one corner of LA's east side just got a little greener and more attractive. Anna Marcos brings us the latest street makeover by Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell's office.
A bit of digging and planting has turned this median in Elysian Valley from a concrete island to a green oasis of trees and plants. It took years, but Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell teamed up with residents to find the $146,000 needed for the project. Now it's all done except for patting down the mulch.
With this little patch, then it makes a difference?
Absolutely, because it's visual. We could see it.
All this pretty green does take some effort. About 5 tons of asphalt had to be removed and 1,800 feet of irrigation pipe laid in.
It's as fundamental as loving this planet. It really is. And when we love the planet, we know that we need to nourish the land. We need to remove as much concrete and asphalt as we can.
Those who put in the most sweat, members of the LA Conservation Corps, a group that trains young people in underserved communities the skills needed to embark on their own careers.
The things I actually learned was breaking asphalt, using the machinery.
So the skills that the Corps members are able to practice in the field here are actually transferable to jobs in the construction field and the land management landscaping field.
And the community gets a green space that's beautiful and fights climate change and instills a sense of pride.
This is just one small portion, but there's going to be others in the future.
More green.
More green.
The last step in the makeover will be the putting up of a sign, so everyone knows when they pass this beautiful place, they are in Elysian Valley. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The discretionary funds came from Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell's own office. while more and more people are starting to get out of their cars and walk. City officials look to make LA a more walkable city by prioritizing pedestrian safety. Rasha Goel has more.
Coming soon. There we go. A safer Hollywood Boulevard. Okay.
For longtime residents like Cindy Duhame-Lonberg, these coming soon street improvements are long overdue and much needed. She's been involved in advocating pedestrian safety for the past 15 years and is happy to see changes finally being made.
Because the traffic and the density has increased so high lately. We've also had a lot of fatalities where people are getting hurt due to poor traffic controls.
The Hollywood Western Streetscape Improvement Project, initiated by Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell, is geared towards encouraging walking and pedestrian safety. Changes will happen along a portion of Hollywood Boulevard from Gower Street to Western Avenue.
The goals were to make the sidewalks more walkable, to make the area more enticing for pedestrians, to improve the general environment, plant shade trees, design areas that would really encourage pedestrians to have a quality experience.
Some of the new features include ADA accessible ramps, curb extensions, and high visibility crosswalks.
Another aspect of safety that we're bringing to this project is putting in pedestrian lighting. So we're putting in 10 new pedestrian lights as well as 82 street lights, which will all be LED, so they'll be energy efficient.
Again, these improvements are being made here on Hollywood Boulevard between Gower Street and Western Avenue. They anticipate this project to be completed by the end of 2018. Hopes are similar improvements can then be made between Hollywood Boulevard and Santa Monica Boulevard. Reporting in Hollywood, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
LA may have collections, archives, and exhibits on its film industry, but something's been missing. Until now, a place to showcase every aspect of Hollywood filmmaking. Anna Marcos takes us on a tour of the future Academy Museum of Motion Pictures.
The grand vision of a museum to house all that Hollywood star-studded creativity called the movies has been years in the making. The public is getting its first sneak peek as the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures takes shape. Another reason to celebrate a new $50 million donation.
This, I hope, will become the kind of epicenter for the film world and film lovers from all over.
The blueprint is grand indeed. 6 floors of the old May Company building will be converted to showcase thousands of pieces from film technology, costume design, production, and more. The museum will also draw from the Academy's collection of 12 million photographs, 200,000 films, and 50,000 posters. How about some Dorothy Wizard of Oz shoes?
Hollywood is both a place and an idea. It's a physical neighborhood and an industry, but it's also some piece of magic that touches people everywhere in the world.
There's a Spielberg gallery and family area, education space, theaters, exhibition galleries, a tea room, an entire floor dedicated to a living history of Hollywood filmmaking. Oh, and a floor dedicated to the Oscar experience.
We have the Oscars experience, which allows visitors to walk the red carpet as if they're actually at the Academy Awards, and then to have the experience of going up on stage, holding a real Oscar, giving their acceptance speech, and having their photo taken.
Next door, a round sphere designed by architect Renzo Piano with an aerial viewing tower, rooftop terrace, and a mega theater.
What I love about it is Renzo has managed to create a new icon for the city. So I feel like the building will float. It's an amazing public gathering space.
The museum will share the block with LACMA, the LA County Museum of Arts, and the La Brea Tar Pits, which will soon turn this into a cultural mecca and arts destination.
There's still $89 million to raise to reach a $388 million goal, but this Hollywood masterpiece already seems like a done deal. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The museum is set to open in 2019. And as the Academy Museum begins to take shape, major tax incentives are helping bring production back to LA. But it isn't just about production crews losing work. In fact, it's hit other areas in the entertainment industry as well. Rasha Goel has more on how LA film and TV musicians are trying to keep the score in California.
Ever think about how crucial music is to film and television? Well, so are those jobs. And with the issue of runaway scoring, these musicians and local supporters are out at LA City Hall with a Keeping the Score in California concert. The event is to help raise awareness on a new bill, AB 1300.
It's a music scoring tax credit bill, and the goal is to try and bring jobs back to California, jobs that we've lost to other places.
Those places include Britain, Australia, and New York. The new bill calls for a 30% credit to offset scoring expenses for movies shot outside of North America. Those movies which employ 35 or more musicians and complete at least 75% of the scoring in California.
We have an opportunity to not only employ those musicians who are here today, but for every musician that is here today, there are 1,000 in the pool of brilliant talent that are waiting to work.
And certainly those 800,000 workers, those 300 unions are going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with each and every one of you until we get what you came for. And that's a good, solid, middle-class job that you can support your families on.
According to local musicians, movies provide a more stable source of income than television.
We want them to have good jobs, make a good living, and be able to just contribute as they do so richly to everything that happens in LA makes it such a great place to live.
She's my babe, my bed.
AB 1300 is expected to be up for vote next year. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
It's a two-day festival that keeps people on their toes, and it keeps growing. Ana Marcos brings us more on the annual Latin Jazz and Music Festival put on by Councilmember Gil Cedillo and the Department of Cultural Affairs.
A little jazzy salsa, just the ticket to get everyone up and on the dance floor. Well, almost everyone. Jazz and salsa lovers got down at the 4th annual Latin Jazz Music Festival in Council District 1.
They had some great rock and roll stuff with Latin feel, and that was pretty enjoyable. And all the women got out and they danced because the guys were a little backward about going on the floor, but it was a ball.
The party, hosted by Councilmember Gil Cedillo's office and the city. And there were some big headliners here, artists like Los Coyotes and Joe Baton.
We're very excited. We have several Grammy winners. Bring this music to the people, preserve a unique American art form, and free to the public.
For free, you can't beat it. I pay to see these people.
Maybe I'll discover some new artists today too, and I'll go see them again.
Since the beginning, the festival has been a huge success.
From the first year, we had under 1,000 people show up, which in the last couple of years has doubled. So today we're looking at about 3,000 people.
And it's the music that seems to keep bringing the people back. I'm Ana Marcos for LA This Week.
A total of 10 bands played over the two-day festival. An artist's vision is brought back to life as she shares LA's history through her artwork. But it hasn't been the easiest journey getting her work displayed in the City of Angels. Rasha Goel has more.
After 27 years, this landmark mural makes its way back to Union Station. LA History, a Mexican Perspective, created by artist Barbara Carrasco, is on display at Union Station, one of the few places in the city large enough to accommodate the 80-foot mural.
She helped to depict here behind us what Los Angeles and what it meant for her to see through that lens of suffering, oppression, and glory.
This is a historical mural. Every single thing in this mural is historically accurate.
The mural, created in 1981, contains 51 scenes depicting a chronological history of LA, emphasizing the experiences of marginalized groups. It captures the city's original native inhabitants through the 20th century, including her younger sister's image.
I'm really proud of my sister for doing this. It was a big struggle. She's very talented. And I just helped her a little bit. I posed for it.
This mural was last displayed here in 1990 and was censored for depicting the city's troubling history. The artist says it's been in storage and she's been trying to bring it back into the public view since then.
For example, they said the Japanese don't want to be reminded of such a negative part of their history, a dark chapter. And I said, well, None of you are Japanese. Let's go ask them.
The mural, which was created for the Los Angeles Bicentennial at the time, was then not shown and given a temporary display at the 1990 Los Angeles Festival. Officials feel it's especially relevant now, just as it was back then.
As we're going through all this strife in our country today, I think a lot of us here know that there's a lot of hurt, but there's also a lot of healing, and there's a lot of history.
From the incarceration of Japanese Americans during World War II to the Zoot Suit riots, all is shown through the unfolding of the woman's strands of hair.
This mural has survived attempts to erase the histories of people of color in Los Angeles, and it is still here today as a testament to those stories and the fact that they matter.
I can't even talk right now. I'm just excited. I'm very happy with all my friends and family being here.
Carrasco says it took her 8 months to complete the mural, but it's been quite the journey getting it to where it is now. But for now, she is overjoyed to finally be able to share this perspective with the world. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The mural will be on display at Union Station until October 22nd and then at La Plaza until February 28th of 2018. Hopes are to find a permanent home for it. Well, Mayor Eric Garcetti brings together community service providers to address our homeless crisis. A pilot program helps support local manufacturers, and the City of LA wants your input to help improve your neighborhood. All these stories in Citybeat. To help guide neighborhood-based efforts to end homelessness, Mayor Eric Garcetti convened more than 300 neighborhood council members, homelessness liaisons, business leaders, and city commissioners to connect them with service providers on the front line of the crisis. As part of the Engage LA event hosted at Getty House, representatives of organizations including Lava May, Chrysalis, Downtown Women's Center, and others answered questions on how to support local efforts to guide Angelenos who are homeless to services and housing, transform empty lots into safe parking sites, and build temporary modular shelters.
Make the pledge with me that every day we will do something to make sure that we create more of those good news stories of people coming home, of coming back, of finding each other, of looking out for one another, until we no longer have a single Angeleno who is unhoused in Los Angeles.
Mayor Eric Garcetti also launched LA Original, a pilot program of the Mayor's Fund of Los Angeles in partnership with the Mayor's Office of Economic Development to spotlight and support LA's creative economy and local manufacturers. LA Original includes a logo, promotional campaign, and line of products from local makers. The program's proceeds will support creative entrepreneurs across the city. LA Original has engaged over 20 companies and retailers that are making new creations for the LA Original line or merging existing products with the brand. The City of Los Angeles is asking for your help. By taking a 5-minute online survey, you can help the city decide where to spend millions of dollars to improve your neighborhood and community. These funds can be used to combat the most pressing issues in your community, like homelessness, the lack of decent parks, or affordable housing. Responses can be submitted until November 22nd. To take the survey, go to research.net/r/Los Angeles City Con Plan 2017. More fun than a barrel of monkeys are a pair of newborn primates, the first baby mandrills to be born at the LA Zoo in decades. Gil Reyes has more from the zoo. Gil.
Yannick, hey, everybody at home, it's a very special day at your Los Angeles Zoo with the arrival of the first mandrills in over 40 years. Here are the proud mamas, Clementine and Juliet, with their newborns. Mandrills, by the way, are the largest of the monkey species. They're also among the most colorful.
Yes, we are very happy and excited to announce that we have 2 new mandrill babies. We have a little boy and a little girl, and this is a relatively new family.
L'Oreal Dunn from the LA Zoo says the new moms arrived from France just last year. They mated with the zoo's only male mandrill, Jabari, to produce the babies.
You will see the males have blue and red on their face. They're just super colorful, and that is to attract the ladies and say that I'm this beautiful, strong guy. I'm gonna make, good babies. They're gonna be strong and they're gonna be healthy.
Mandrills come to us from the rainforests of Western Africa. Because they have tails, they're monkeys, not apes, and are the largest of monkeys at that, weighing around 80 pounds as adults.
Another really cool thing, you'll see them grab stuff and shove it all in their mouth, but they're not actually eating it all. They have what's called cheek pouches. So right on these sides, they can stuff all kinds of food in there. Then they'll go somewhere, hang out, sit, and then slowly start eating everything.
Mandrills are now endangered because of poaching and habitat loss. Eventually, zoo officials hope to breed more.
That's our goal, to save this beautiful planet and all the amazing species. So come see these beautiful babies, because they're amazing.
From your Los Angeles Zoo, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
To donate to the zoo's conservation causes and for more on zoo hours, exhibits, and special events, just visit lazoo.org. Let's show your community spirit by taking part in a peace march, move to the beat of some Latin music during a family fun weekend event, and enjoy the fast-paced action of Red Bull Global Rallycross. All this in this week's Things to Do. Join community, residents, activists, and Office of Councilmember Gil Cedillo in a March for Peace in Lincoln Heights. The march will be followed by a resource fair and free food. It starts on Saturday, October 14th at 9 a.m. at the Boys and Girls Club, located at 2635 Pasadena Avenue. Bring the family and celebrate the exhibit Cuba Is with a family fun weekend. Join the fun for a weekend of Cuban dance, group art activities, story time hosted by Books and Cookies, face painting by Rainbow Painted Smiles, and interactive Latin musical and dance performances. It all takes place Saturday, October 14th from 11 to 3 p.m. at Annenberg Space for Photography Skylight Studios, located at 10050 Constellation Boulevard. For some heart-pumping racing action, head out to the Red Bull Global Rallycross at the Port of LA. Join other racing fans for all-day racing action, exhibitor booths, awesome giveaways, and the stars and cars of Red Bull Global Rallycross. The event takes place at Port of Los Angeles at 3011 Minor Street. For details, visit redbullglobalrallycross.com. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacitybee.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.